This is the fourth video in the series going over the syllabus. I'm looking at Canvas right now. I've clicked on Syllabus in the course navigation menu, and I'm just going to scroll down to the section of the syllabus about the different types of assignments, and we'll go through those and the grading policies in this video. So first type of assignment will be the workbook sections. So the workbook is the big PDF file that I mentioned before. We probably downloaded your own copy. And where you find the assignments listed in Canvas is over here under modules. Here's your course navigation bar, and here's modules. And I'll click there. And here's module 0 getting started, and here's module 1. Let me make this bigger so you can see everything there. So here's module 3, the big picture. Under each module, there'll be items to view, and then there'll also be some items to submit. It's set up so you have to go through these in order. So here's an item, homework number 1 on module 3, topic 1. It's a homework about the vocabulary for the course. Now, if I click on that, I get some instructions. And for these homework items that come from the workbook, the instructions usually just refer you to the workbook. It says, read this section, module 3, topic 1, homework 1. Read the topic 1 in the workbook, and then you come to the homework at the end of the section after you read it, and then you can do the homework. And you'll submit it through this interface. The first couple of these that you have to do, the instructions will be a little more detailed, and I'll put some videos in there that show you how to submit the actual assignment. So all the Canvas page does is it just refers you to the workbook, and it provides you with a button to submit it. You don't see that button here, but you will on your own screen when you come into the item as a student. Okay, so I'll go back to the syllabus here. And besides the workbook items, there are also textbook activities. Okay, so those are found in the OLI textbook. So for those, here's your OLI textbook. I showed you in a previous video how you get into this, and the table of contents. And occasionally I'll ask you to fill in some of the exercises you come to in the book, and just write the answers on paper or take a picture and submit that. Okay. And then CHAOS quizzes. So CHAOS stands for the Comprehensive Assessment of Statistics, and this is a nationally standardized bubble test. You fill in the little multiple choice bubbles. I have taken some of the practice tests for the standardized test, and and using them as exercises for you to practice with during the class. All these assignment types, each assignment is roughly 10 points. Some of them, like the workbook sections are actually, take that back, the workbook sections are 3 points, and a few of the others are 10. But the idea is that no one assignment is a very high stakes item. But if you work through all of them, I believe you can learn the subject. So I'll show you one of those chaos quiz things back here in modules. Let me go through find one of these. Let's see. Go down to module 4. And there's a chaos quiz under module 4. This one's worth 3 points. I'll click on the item. And what I've done is I've just made a PDF file with the multiple choice quiz on it. And you would just click that, download it, write your answers on a piece of paper, take a picture, and there'll be a button when you come to it. There'll be a button to submit the file. Okay, back to the syllabus. We have Canvas checkpoint quizzes. So these are based on the chapter tests in the OLI textbook. That is open source material. What they charge for that we're not using is you could take the quiz right there as you're reading the book, and their system would grade it and send me the grade. But what we have done in the math department is we have copied all those quizzes over into Canvas so that you don't have to pay for the online homework system, but you can get the same questions. And so I'm going to go back up here to modules. I'm going to find one of these and show you what they look like. Let me get one down here from module 4. Okay. There's one. So this is the OLI textbook checkpoint 1 on module 4. I'll click on that. And well, okay, so I have a button to preview it so I could edit. You'll have a button here that would say begin the quiz. So anyway, you click on it and it'll show you the questions. And you just select your answer. And when you're done, there'll be a submit button on your version. You click submit and it'll hand in the quiz. And you'll get a grade back pretty quickly. Well, it's timing me while I'm taking the quiz, but you have unlimited time on these. It just reports the time. Okay. Back to the syllabus. We have workbook exercises, textbook exercises, multiple choice chaos quizzes that you write on paper, Canvas quizzes, and then there'll be 3 tests. There are practice tests for those in the workbook, very much like the real thing. And because of the distance learning format, these will function essentially as big homework exercises. The point value for those is reduced. because it would be hard to enforce against cheating. So these are sort of like big homework exercises, but they're worth several of the other homeworks. There's a project, and you'll find out more about that later in the semester when we're ready to get started with it, and a final exam. Grading, if you get 90 to 100% of the available points, that's an A. So on, 80 to 90 is a B. Below 60 would get an F. The registrar has this category called FW if you stopped attending after the last day to withdraw and you did not pass the course. You wouldn't just get an F, you'd get an FW, and some of the financial aid makes the distinction. They want you to finish out the course, even if you're not going to pass. So check with the registrar several times during the semester to make sure you're registered. If you just stop handing in activities, you need to contact me, and we need to figure out if you're going to actually be able to finish. You can hand in some assignments late. Many of the assignments, when you click on them in Canvas, you go to the assignment, it'll show you the rubric for how they're graded. And so some of them have being on time as a specified part of the grade. Others where it's not specified, especially the ones where you're like doing it on paper and taking a picture, this kind of exercise. If I don't say in Canvas, you'll get a penalty of 25% when it's handed in late. All of the assignments have both a due date and then they have a closing date. So between the due date and the closing date, you can get the partial credit, and then after the closing date, you can no longer hand it in. Accommodations. I'm making every effort to make the course as close to ADA compliant as I can. So the video clips will have transcripts so that you can read them if you cannot hear. The workbook is a big PDF file that is not yet completely ADA compliant. Some of the illustrations don't have machine readable captions. Some of like the running headings across the top of each page have not all been marked as not to be read by the machine reader. A few things like that. So if this becomes an issue for you, if you have trouble with it, let me know, because our DSPS services, they can get you a person to read for you directly. And they can also tell me what to do about accommodations for other conditions. And so, always tell me if you're having any troubles related to this, and I'll try to make things better. And you talk to DSPS, and they can provide services and give me instructions for exactly what should be done. So that concludes the syllabus. And your job going through the course is just to get into the modules, start at the module 0, work on the first item, and just go down the list of the items in order, and I'll provide additional videos and instructions for these as you go along. And that's it. I'll see you in the next video.